So from late 19th century, as colonialism flowered, reformist puritanism, increased, and the attack on so-called obscene representations became more systematic and pervasive. It is not to say that, women's sexuality was not under scrutiny earlier, but I think with the growth of print culture, there was a strengthening of these kind of tendencies. So, for example, sections 292, 293, and 294 of the Indian Penal Code were explicitly designed, for the prevention of any form of obscenity. So we see, a kind of moral panic gripping, a large section of upper caste reformers, nationalists, Hindi writers. There was this kind of deliberate distancing from so-called uncomfortable traditions of the past, which was selectively critiqued. So there was this kind of serious and systematic attack on, what came to be referred to as Shringar Ras poetry, which was charged with obscenity by many influential writers. In many ways, obscenity was redefined, especially to control certain sexual identities of women. So the debate on obscenity was largely a debate on sex for pleasure and recreation versus, sex for reproduction. There is this gradual shift in emphasis from the erotic and sexually active Naika and the imagery of Radha to this, chaste and virtuous Hindu wife and mother. And, Radha almost completely disappears from a normative standardized poetry, or, she's transformed from being a figure of this incomparable joy into, an incomparable bore. The image of woman becomes a patently moral one, and sensuousness, passion, and emotion, they give way to concerns over social reform, chastity, and morality. But I do not want to stop here, because I think this is one side of the picture, the dominant picture, the overwhelming picture. This is also the time when printed sex manuals, for example, saw considerable growth, in this period. And so eroticism, in spite of all kinds of, clamping and censorship, became popular actually at this time. So in some ways, print opened vast avenues, with contradictory messages and meanings. And it was not easy to make sexual pleasure a mere victim of moral panic.